What's crazy is that had they been in Israel before 1948 and they would call an Arab Palestinian, they would have gotten beat up.
Mm,
Arabs hated that term. I actually liked when I would go into coffee shops here locally and I had people screaming free, free Palestine because I'm like, aha, let me educate them. So I go up to them. I loved anyone who was wearing keffiyeh. I'd be like, oh, so you are a genetic Jew. And they look at me as if I had like two heads. And I would say, yeah, because if you say that you're Palestinian, Palestinian meant Jews in Israel from 136 AD to 1948. They're like, no, I'm not, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, so then you're not a Palestinian. Or, like when someone would scream, free, free Palestine, I'd be like, you're a Zionist. Thank you so much. And like, they'd like look at me, I'm crazy. I said, no, you're a Zionist because we also want to free the other 78% of our homeland. So you want us to help reclaim quote unquote Jordan. And they're like, what are you talking about? Jordan's Palestine. I was like, nope. You're a Zionist if you want to free Palestine because only 22% has been freed. It's like little tidbits like that I
mhm.
love to just sporadically share in the public.
Kudos to you. I love that. Also, when we hear like Free Palestine chants, we would always say, yeah, from Hamas. And we would just keep going back and forth. We've done that a lot in our rallies, but I love that. I love how you kind of use this like sarcastic humor and you turn it back on them. And
Turn into
it makes
history
them
because
to think,
yeah,
stops. Maybe hopefully they'll come back home and do some research after that or like think twice before just shouting these things in public that they don't know any of the historical context to.
what's crazy is that had they been in Israel before 1948 and they would call an Arab Palestinian, they would have gotten beat up.
Mm,
Arabs hated that term. Like, the history, right, of the term Palestinian that, first of all, the Romans took the Greek term for Judea that was in use since the 5th century. So the Romans were not even that evil. They renamed a lot of places that they conquered. We were not the ones who were targeted, quote unquote. And they were like, okay, well, the lingua franca of the region is Greek. We're going to use the Greek term for Judea. It's not a big deal. But because Jews were the majority in Judea, in Israel, only the Jews were called Palestinians for thousands, or for nearly 2,000 years.
hmm
And when the British occupiers came in, they're like, okay, well, we also have Arabs here now, so let's call them Palestinian Arabs to distinguish between Palestinian Jews. The Arabs revolted. It was part of the grievances, laundry list of grievances by Arabs against the British of the 1936 to 1939 riots.
Right.